Peru News Today, all you need to know about Peru.
Grupo de Lima rejects armed intervention against Nicolás Maduro's regime. The 11 Latin American countries of the Lima Group expressed their rejection of a possible military intervention in Venezuela after the controversial declarations of the OAS Secretary General. Crisis in Venezuela. 11 Latin American countries that make up the Lima Group rejected the use of violence with the aim of overthrowing the Nicolás Maduro regime. Through a statement issued this Saturday, expressed their concern and rejection of any course of action or statement that implies a military intervention in Venezuela. This joint statement was signed by Argentina, Brazil, Costa Rica, Chile, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, and Saint Lucia. While Colombia, despite being a member of the Lima Group, did not express its rejection. It is worth noting that Canada and Guyana also integrate this team that was formed in 2017 in Lima with the aim of facing the dictatorship of Nicolás Maduro. This statement is a response to the controversial approach of the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, OAS, Luis Almagro. This Friday, during a press conference in Cúcuta, Colombia, he said, regarding military intervention to overthrow the regime of Nicolás Maduro, "I think we should not rule out any option." As an argument to justify its positioning, Almagro referred to the violations of human rights and crimes against humanity committed by the Venezuelan government. The communiqué of the 11 Latin American governments reaffirms its commitment to contribute to the restoration of democracy in Venezuela and to overcoming the serious political, economic, social and humanitarian crisis that country is going through a peaceful and negotiated solution. It also opposes actions or expressions related to the exercise of violence, threat or use of force in Venezuela. The response of the Nicolás Maduro regime, the declarations of Luis Almagro, caused international commotion. A few hours after his radical suggestion, the Venezuelan government said it will denounce the OAS Secretary General to the United Nations, UN, and other international bodies. The Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, assured through his Twitter account that they want to revive the worst cases of the imperialist military interference in Latin America. The stability is seriously threatened by the insane action of the usurper in a deviant and abusive manner, the General Secretariat of the OAS. The warnings of the Lima Group to Nicolás Maduro with Peru as leader of the Lima Group. In August 2017, 12 governments signed the Lima Declaration to condemn the breakdown of democratic order in Venezuela and the systematic violation of human rights of the Nicolás Maduro regime. Previously, the Lima Group made numerous calls to restore the democratic order, specify new elections and demanded that Nicolás Maduro authorize the arrival of humanitarian aid. These are some of the most outstanding points proclaimed by the Lima Group in its declaration. They condemned the rupture of the constitutional order and the rule of law in the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, reflected in the loss of democratic institutions and the lack of guarantees in political freedoms for all citizens. They do not recognize the legitimacy and credibility of the electoral process developed in that country, which ended on May 20, 2018. For not complying with international standards, not having had the participation of all Venezuelan political actors, and having developed without the guarantees necessary for a free, fair, transparent and democratic process. They call for the installation of a true national dialogue in which all Venezuelan political actors participate to agree on the celebration of a new electoral process that has the democratic guarantees of justice, freedom and transparency. Express their deep consternation and alarm at the serious violations of human rights in Venezuela, denounced in the reports and communications of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, and recorded in the recent report of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, which they include extrajudicial executions, excessive use of force, arbitrary arrests, torture and ill treatment, and lack of access to justice, as well as the erosion of institutional checks and balances in democracy in that country. We reiterate the urgent call to the Venezuelan government to allow the establishment of a humanitarian channel that will facilitate the immediate attention required by Venezuelans who continue to cross the border in precarious states of health and malnutrition. Recognized the recent resolution of the General Assembly of the Organization of American States that, given the serious situation in that country, seeks to support the restoration of democracy in Venezuela within the framework of the Inter-American Democratic Charter.
Visit at www.perunewstoday.com. Also follow on Facebook and Twitter.